Hey everyone, I'm Luke Moyle, and today I'll be taking you through my Studio 3 idea in regards to what I'll be doing with it in Illusions of Life. You'll have to forgive me, my voice is a bit funky. I've been a bit wrecked over the last week because I've finally gotten COVID. Yay. Um, my current Studio 3 idea is to make just a small game based on the Island of the Dead in Port Arthur, Tasmania. You're just a single dude. You got 30 days on this island, and every day a guardsman will come and drop off a corpse and whatever, and it's your job to bury it, depending on how many. Multiple corpses even. Um, and there will be side objectives related to you maybe finding out what happened to the previous Undertaker, because he was apparently only young as well. So you know, there'll be some little secret things around the island for you to explore and find. Yeah, it'll sort of be a mortuary assistant style game where there'll be sort of slight jump scare. I mean, there'll probably be a couple of jump scares here and there, but I think I want to try and move away from the straight up noise blaring in your ears to try and make you scared and something jumping up on the screen, because it's a bit lame. So I'd like to do something a little bit more, monsters lingering around you and sort of sense of anxiety rather than an immediate, jump scare. The illusion of illusion of illusion of life. The idea that thought I would explore while I was doing this class would be to do the environmental animations such as trees, and how they sway, because I think that, depending on how fast a tree moves and how slow it moves, and the light that breaks through the tree line, and how many leaves there are on a tree, if it has big spiny branches that reach out and try and grab at you almost, or if they're big and soft and flow, like big cotton balls in the wind, can give you sort of a different sort of feeling. So I thought I would focus on the movements of the trees for IOL. Besides Mortuary Assistant, the other two references I could think of were Resident Evil 4 Remake, or at least the trailer, because I thought it looked pretty creepy, which is the top left image, or the swampy forest outside of the Resident Evil Biohazard Mansion, which, it just, when you get out of the car at the start of that game, you just feel unwelcome immediately, and that's even before you find all the animal bones and, well, presumably animal bones tied up to trees and stuff. Apart from that, there was the Blair Witch game that came out, and I think it was 2019. Had a pretty creepy atmosphere. Even it was a bit of a flop, but it looked cool in the forest. So I think there'll be some things to pick out there. Some initial animation tests I did were I found I knew about the content browser, but I didn't know there were some pre-animated trees in there. So the initial pre-animation looks a bit rough, but there's just heaps and heaps and heaps of settings you can change, all the way down from the height of a tree to how many branches and leaves it has, to the velocity of the wind and how dramatically the tree moves. So you can see my reference things here that some of them barely move, like the bottom left, there's just zero wind. Top two are more realistic, and the bottom right one's just a very windy day. Come on, next slide. Same thing here. I started with the different times a day and different velocities of winds, going from low to high. I also played with some lighting of setting up a light and changing the temperature of the light to, better represent day and night. I chose to do a pink light because I think with the extreme, movement of the trees with the, with the wind, it sort of reminds me of like a ray of people bouncing up and down and stuff in a little, group, or a big group. Um, so now I have those same animations, but I've set up some actual sounds. Of course, this one is a slow wind, so you can't really hear much wind sound going on. And I've got the nighttime crickets classic going on. I think it, works pretty well. We've got a daytime one where a bit windier now. There's some daytime birds, some bees there. I couldn't find any good music for the microphone, unfortunately, but I just tried to high velocity wind over the top of it. I think that I'm a bit worried that my project isn't really meshing well with Illusions of Life. I don't feel like trees and environments is really what the class is looking for. I see lots of people doing character animations and stuff like that, so I'm a bit worried that my project isn't really meshing well, but what are you going to do? So I'll probably move on from trees and such to focus on other parts of the environment, such as it's an island, so there'll be beach and water effects in general, so I'd love to jump into Unreal and try and figure that stuff out. Along with that, I'm not really sure what other things on an island really, move. I suppose I could do some basic 2D animations, animation tests for some monsters or something roaming around in the trees. That could probably help. Some things to think about for the next half of the semester. Thank you for putting up with my voice, and we'll see how we go. See ya.